Swattings have been on the freaking rise lately, and I've had my fair share of that. Swatting is something that is very interesting to me because it's so prevalent right now. Especially, it's been prevalent for the last couple of years, but it's starting to get really, really prevalent. And my sneaking suspicion is that the swatting that's happening to like very, very large conservative commentators right now are completely funded by some government program. Maybe they weren't in the past. I think they probably are now. And that's pretty terrifying. But at any rate, swatting's become so damn prevalent, and it's so, if it's an actual individual and not an organization doing it, it's so cowardice and gross. And it could result in people being killed. Not everyone lives in a place like me. Right now, I live in a place where no-knock warrants are illegal. You can't bust into my house. It's illegal. It does not matter who called and claimed a thing happened. They have to do a wellness check. That's what they do where I live. But shockingly enough, that's not the case almost anywhere in the US. And it's starting to get out of damn control. And people are sending these. You'll notice this, by the way. I don't know if you've noticed this, but the only people getting swatted are always conservatives. Because keep in mind, when you hold the moral position, which is like most all liberals hold the moral position, or what they think is the moral position, they think that death is a reasonable answer to conflict politically. So they think they're actually doing something good trying to get these people killed and their families killed and their children killed. When in actuality, it's not actually good. It's just them being evil piles of shit. But swatting is apparently only a misdemeanor unless somebody is injured or killed. So there's actually almost no drawback to it right now. Very, very spooky shit. Anyways, I want to bring up something to kind of talk about this because I got swatted. And of course, people that hate you will claim that your swattings are fake, right? They'll just say that you hired 50 police officers to show up because that's how they get away. Like, oh, it's not that big a deal. Stop worrying about it. Stop worrying about getting killed. It's not a big deal. You're just a baby. It's actually fake. You actually hired people. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but I released that conference call for GameStop a couple of years ago. And then I started releasing more and more GameStop conference calls. That's it got really big for a while. And there was so many, the people that hated me were claiming that I hired like 100 people to get on a conference call and fake a GameStop conference call. So no, people that hate you will always, absolutely always claim your shit's fake. And that goes hand to hand with trying to better yourself. Do not try to better yourself, your family's self, the people who you love. Do not do it for people that will never consider it enough. It's kind of like my racing deal. Right now, you can find in the comments of my racing stuff, like any post, of people being like, oh, well, it's only ARCA. And then when I announce I'm racing in NASCAR, they're like, oh, well, it's only the NASCAR truck series. It's not actually a real deal. And when I go to Xfinity, they're gonna be, oh, well, it's not actually it's just Xfinity. It's like baby shit. And then if I ever got to the Cup series, but oh, well, it's just, he sucks though. And then what happens if something crazy happens and we get a lot of money and we actually do well? What happens? Oh, well, I hate you. You never try to improve yourself or fight for your dreams for the people that will never consider it good enough. They already hate you, right? It's insane. So the first one I'm going to pull up it's something that just happened apparently this morning, actually. Keep in mind, this person obviously doesn't live in a place where no-knock warrants are illegal. So the police just walk up and try to go into this guy's house. Keep in mind, I want you guys to keep in mind something really quick. If the police enter your house and it's pitch black in your home and you think you have an intruder and you grab your freaking 12 gauge and you aim at a dark figure in your house and you blow them away and suddenly you get blown away and your whole family gets killed in their beds, because that's what the people swatting will do. If you live in a pretty compact house or a small house, they'll just go in every room and kill everybody that's sleeping. They'll just be like, oh, yeah, we got a call. We had it. That's how they defend it, right? There's plenty of videos that are terrible online of police just going to the wrong house. No shit. Going to the wrong house to serve a warrant and busting the door down and just killing everybody inside. Oh shit, this is the wrong house. That's the kind of thing you have to worry about. Luckily, again, I live in a place where that's illegal, but it's not illegal everywhere else. This is going to be very unnerving, by the way. So when you guys see this video, it's going to be unnerving. So Larry Totten says, I was swatted last night, as you can see in these 3 videos. I was in bed, but noticed Ranger, my German Shepherd, was on the prowl. His ears were up, and I heed his instincts, right? I then saw a flicker of light on my BR door. Ranger went to investigate, and I got my gun. Keep in mind, this is very important. This sentence right here, I got my gun. That is now a death sentence. If the police enter the home because there's an unlocked door, keep in mind, police will walk around your house trying to go in any door that's unlocked. In these situations, again, if you live in a place where no knock warrants are illegal, that won't happen, or usually won't happen, you know what I'm saying? But in this place, it did, right? And if he had one unlocked door, one, and keep in mind, Jesse, PDH, freaking leaves doors unlocked all the time in my house. Tiny One Badger did the same shit. She never locked the doors behind her, right? If this police officer would have gained access to this house at any point, everybody in that house is dead. Basically, what's going to happen with swattings is somebody very influential and very popular will have to be killed in a swatting for anything to change in this country, right? Because people on Reddit all day, I don't know about you. If you go to Reddit and go to any subreddit on Reddit, everybody is mentally insane. Like they have like the mental capacity of a 12-year-old. Like every single person on Reddit. Timcast is your sponsor in NASCAR? Wow, what a piece of shit. I hope you die. Like these people actually exist because of a name on my car. Fucking insane. But at any rate, that's Reddit for you. And these people on Reddit will conspire in open on Reddit in front of God and everybody and coordinate these things. It's fucking crazy. But anyways, look at this officer right here. Now, I have to put this out there. This is probably the best example of people you would want to come. These guys right here. Because they're saying on camera right now, this doesn't look like 4 or 5 guys are around here shooting, right? So these are the best guys that could possibly show up, right? As you can see on the cam right here, the doorbell. But watch this officer reach for the door. Look at it. He was trying to gain access, to the back door. Now, what happens if that door is unlocked, boys? What happens if I forget to lock that door? What happens? What happens if I forget to lock that door on the off chance that I forgot? And trust me, I go down to my pool house area all the time. And it's always damn unlocked because the people in my house suck. But at any rate, if this guy gains access to this house, I am dead. Bar none. No questions asked. I'm dead. And everybody else in my house is likely dead as well. So as you can see, just to recap, this dude goes for the door and tries to open it. If this door was unlocked, everybody in the house is dead. And luckily it's locked. That's how close you are to death right there. Freaking terrifying. That is how close you are. If you ever find yourself in this situation, do not walk outside. Announce yourself through a window. Stay low. Announce yourself through a window. Say this is a swatting. Nothing's going on. Plead your case. Do not let anybody in. Do not walk up to anybody. Do not confront anybody. Stay behind a closed door when they're trying to beat on your door and be like, you have the wrong house. This is a swatting. There is no disturbance here. Something like that, right? So let's follow up. It says, I saw the silhouette of a man on my deck with an AR-15. Given my recent run-in with the USAID and the Egyptian secret police in Cairo, I didn't know what to think. I could hear whispers and saw 2 other men also in body armor, heavily armed. This is absolutely terrifying. Imagine if you made a sudden movement anywhere here. If you walked out of one of these doors with any kind of sudden movement, you dead as fuck. You dead, deader in hell. All right, now you hear the dogs barking, right? You hear the dogs. They're chirping. They're chirping now because the police are getting to the main door here, Stephanie says, I knew someone whose house was accidentally raided in the middle of the night. Her bedridden father was in the living room. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying, dude. Don't the police announce themselves? No, Lazy Ryan. Absolutely not. The most recent swatting I had They claimed that I was burning. Somebody called and claimed I was burning down all the houses in the neighborhood. And then when they got here, there was probably, I don't know, 20 police, 18 police. There was like 4 or 5 police cars, 2 fire engines, and 1 fire rescue vehicle. And they were all over my house. They were in my backyard. They were at my back door, at my front door. Now, granted, luckily they just knock on the door, is what they do. Where I am, they knock on your door and they'll be like, hey, what's going on? And you just be like, hey, what's up? I don't know what's going on. They're like, hey, man, we got a call about this. And then you tell them what's going on, right? But in a lot of places, that's not the case. But yeah, if somebody's walking around my house and there's lights all over my house, yeah, I'm going to have my AR-15 chambered, or I'm going to have my 12-gauge chambered. That's what you're going to do. That's what any normal person is going to do in this situation, especially if the police don't announce themselves, because you're going to think somebody's trying to rob you. And then as soon as you point a gun at somebody that just happens to be on the police's side, you dead. So it says, I turned on the light and told them to identify themselves. They did, as you'll see, but I kept my weapon and it de-escalated from there. The officers told me they received a call from someone claiming to be in my home and hiding while I shot people. These were the good guys. Keep in mind, and I know I say this a lot, the reason people do this, predominantly people that find themselves on the left for whatever reason, and look, it's not reasonable people, okay? So don't identify with that, nor take it personally. If you find yourself on the left and you're like, wow, I can't believe you would say this to me, don't take it personally. It's people who happen to be on the left and also suffer from a mental illness, right? Where they think death is a reasonable excuse or action to put upon somebody to push their moral position forward, right? Because when you hold yourself to a higher morality, you think you can kill people to get to the greater good. That's how that thought process has always worked, right? It's why the only people that commit swattings are usually people on the left, politically. And they try to get people they don't disagree with who happen to be on the right swatted. That's how it almost always is, 98% of the time. I guess the good part about this whole story is the fact that the police eventually announced themselves, which they don't have to do in a lot of these places. The reason they probably did is because all the doors were locked. You best damn believe if one of these doors were unlocked, the police were going to walk in. And then all the hell breaks loose. So it says, just doing their jobs. I doubt any of them voted for Kamal Erbad. They had approached the house without sirens in silent, and this might have been a bloodbath, but for restraint on both sides. This was an attempt to get me and my wife killed, and it ended in smiles and handshakes, which is what always happens, by the way. It says everybody laughs and cuts up. Every time I've ever been swatted, we all laugh and cut up. I'll never forget, I had my Gordon car and my 12 car in my garage, and somebody called like a couple years ago, called 911. And they claimed I was driving my stock cars on the street and running over children and stuff. This was keep in mind, I had not driven my stock cars on the street except for the day I got the 12 car years ago. I drove it around my neighborhood and then parked it and never drove it on the street again. And they were like, oh, I can't believe you. So at any rate, they asked to see my stock cars, and I took them in my garage, and we laughed and cut up for an hour, and they left. It was a good time, but it could end very badly. All it takes is an unlocked door, and that's it. And then you're laughing and cutting up, turns into everybody in your house is dead. Freaking terrifying shit. People don't understand how close you are.